Halloween! Welcome to another episode of McAllen Park's Unplugged Halloween Edition. Today, Kristyna and Ceci, our center manager, is joining us so we can create a witch's cauldron. So please stay tuned for the following steps. We're going to be needing quite a few supplies, but those will be very easy to access at your local craft store or even at your corner dollar store. So to start off, you will need a cauldron. We have two different sizes here. We have a larger one, or you could choose to go with a smaller cauldron. Also, what we're gonna need is some construction paper or poster paper, which would be better. It's a little bit sturdier. We went ahead and got the larger poster size, and we cut it in half because we're gonna need two halves for this project. And later on, you will see how we will be using that. If you chose to go with a larger cauldron, I recommend that you get some spray foam. When we use this, parents, please be present. I highly recommend that a parent will be the one to disperse this into the cauldron. What we also need is some Halloween garland. We need some decoration witch movies, some tape, of course. We need some Halloween leggings, our glue gun, and some other items over here.
On my side, I have this dry foam. We have some green paint, some small round foam balls, and we also have, if you'd like to do some extra stuff, some glow-in-the-dark paint if you want to put this outside. Green paint. We have some really cool eyeballs here. Bamboo skewers. And like I said, this is the rest of the stuff that we just mentioned.
So let's go ahead and get started with our witch's cauldron. If you decided to go with a larger cauldron, then we recommend that you use the spray foam. Here we highly encourage that parents would be the ones to disperse this into the cauldron, and you will be leaving this overnight for the foam to settle and to dry and spread out. So what this does, it adds texture and height onto the cauldron. So when we add all of our accessories, they're gonna look like they're floating up. Again, you will leave this overnight so that everything can settle. And a second option would be a smaller cauldron. And what you can do to add to that volume is use half a circle of dry foam. We're going to insert this inside of the cauldron. And with that, we're going to start to insert all of our accessories. So again, for our cauldron, we're going to have multi-steps. So while I'm creating decoration with our mesh here, Kristyna will be showing us another step as well. With the mesh, what we're going to do is we're going to create bubbles with it. So it looks like we have that poison coming out of our cauldron, our witch's brew. So the simplest way to do that, at the end of our mesh, and we chose green because it's going to represent that witch's brew here. So we pinch the ends, and with pipe cleaners, we're gonna wrap it around once or twice, twist it, and we wanna go for that bubble effect. So about every 9 to 12 inches, I'm gonna go ahead and tie again. And again, we wanna create like that bubble, that volume there. And using another piece of pipe cleaner, I'll go ahead and tie that down. And for this smaller cauldron, we'll repeat these bubbles for about 4 or 5 of them.
So on my side, like Ceci mentioned, we have multiple steps to this elaborate witch's brew. We had our little foam balls that we already started to color and paint. You can use marker. I'm using green water paint here, and we just slowly went over it, and just like this. So again, this is going to represent our witch's brew. And if you want to add some extra stuff to our little balls, we added the eyeballs too, and we actually have the other smaller eyeballs. So you can add these all around the witch's cauldron, and it's just another fun effect to add to it.
Now that we finished creating our mesh bubbles, we went ahead and super glued bamboo sticks. What the bamboo sticks are going to do is they're going to allow us to insert the mesh onto that dry foam dome that we showed you earlier. So that's going to be one of our first steps as we add on the decorations to our cauldron. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you want to give it that volume. You want to make sure that it has that volume to make it look like a brew, a witch's brew. So I'm inserting it all throughout, and our final piece here. In between the green mesh, for our following steps, that's going to be where we're going to insert all our extra decorations.
Now that we have our mesh around the cauldron, now we're going to add our little extra to add a little flair to it. And so we're just going to find the bottom where the foam is, and we're going to stick them all the way around. Like I said, we painted our green balls here, our eyeballs, and so we're just going to keep on adding until it adds a full effect.
So now that we went ahead and added more decor onto our cauldron, we're going to go ahead and move on to our witch's legs. So we have Halloween pantyhose, and we're coming back to our poster paper. So again, we originally started with a full-size poster. We already went ahead and cut it in half, and as you can see, after rolling the poster paper up, our final product will look like this. So what you want to do is roll up the poster paper long ways to make sure that it gives it that sturdy feel when you insert it into the pantyhose. So we're going to take that and take it in the middle and at the ends as well. And with the pantyhose, what you can do is just cut off the leg portion. And now we're going to go ahead and insert the poster paper into our pantyhose here to give it that effect, make it look like it's the witch's leg. So now that we have wrapped our poster paper with our leggings or our pantyhose here, we're going to go ahead and add our decoration, which glued to one end and insert it into our cauldron. So it's as simple as just sticking it through with the poster paper. And as you can see, we already have this sample here done. We'll go ahead and add it to this other side here. Now our next step with the garland, we're going to go ahead and to add a little more flair, more decoration, we're going to go ahead and wrap it around our witch's boots. So it's just as simple as giving it a few twists. Go ahead and cut this here and just tuck in the edges. Kristyna, go next to that side. We're done with this part. To add our final piece to our cauldron, you can go ahead and add a Halloween themed bow. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We chose Halloween themed colors for our bow. We're going to wrap it around and we'll just secure it here in the back. and that will be the final touch to our cauldron. And so again, to follow the steps, it's just as simple as using paint, using fabrics, anything you can find at your local craft store or even at any one of your local dollar stores. Thank you so much for joining us in this edition of our Unplugged videos. Please stay tuned for all our Halloween edition Unplugged videos at McAllenparks.net.